Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Hold on, mic check. That. Hey, everything's on. I think. Anyways, hi, everyone. We're being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, you know the drill. And because this isn't your first rodeo, right? Maybe. If it is, it's that bell-shaped thing that says, and there's a subscribe. Yeah, hit those buttons. And the thumbs up button, right? Let's see. Trying to type, talk, and think all at the same dang time. Not very good at that. Let's see, no matter how you are listening, stop in and say howdy in one of the chat rooms. Or you can always send me an email at wildepaisley@gmail.com. That's wildepaisley@gmail.com. Let's see. Oh, if you want to learn more about me or, my, what I do or buy merchandise, because I have that too, you can always go to the website. That's www.paisleywild.com. Nice, simple, direct, to the point. Wild has an E. If you want to just support my radio habit, that's cool too. That's hashtag $TheSpacesBetween. And if you are just in the mood to do some research, check out iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio. iLife combines the unleaded version of the ayahuasca, in other words, no psychoactive properties, with the high-quality CBD to support you, with the pain, with the COVID. Well, okay, not necessarily COVID, but, the cold and flu season, allergies, the stuff that kind of kicks our butts on a regular basis. Check it out, iLife.com. And let's see, if you do want to call in and give me your 3 cents, absolutely do so. The number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44-203-393-2871. There, I think that's the business part of things, right? Yeah. So I'm not part of the Twitterverse, but I do occasionally get tweets. So if I am part of the Twitterverse, but I'm not active. Lucky knows more about Twitter than I do, and she'll post things occasionally and tag me. So I'm out there. Tag me if you have something you want to say. Or Instagram, I'm there too. Where else am I? Facebook. I'm on MeWe. And let's see, what else? Trying to think. Where else am I? I'm not very often on MeWe. So, yeah, I guess just send me the email. And then, let's see. Because, if you ever have a show idea that you would like to share or recommend, absolutely give me a shout out. And I'll do some research and let you know what's up. Hold on, Lucky. I have a thing for you if I can be in the right chat. Got that one. I kind of funny. I talk to myself on a regular basis. Do you know why? Because sometimes I just need expert advice. Right? Isn't that how that works? Kind of. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But yes, I do occasionally. Oh, you know what? Lucky, I have a link for you. If I could remember how to send just a text message, I would remember. There. I sent it. So, just real quick, I know, even for those of you kind of like me who don't really follow the news very often because, well, it's the news and A lot of it is just biased stuff anyways. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and a lot of it is not good. A lot of it is anti-good. Just talk about folly. Oof. Yeah, there's stuff happening that should not have ever happened. And so just put some energy out there for our boys and girls overseas. I'm a big supporter of the armed forces and the military and such, and if there's anything I can do, let me know. I mean, I'm just a online radio host, YouTuber. I'm just me, but let me know what I can do, because I did a morning ritual to call our kids home. It's time. It's time to stop messing around, and yeah, that's just all there is to it. Time to stop messing around. And that is my 3 cents on that. Otherwise, I will get totally distracted, and we'll see the other side of me come out. There's a reason why I would be considered a gray witch. Yes. And it's not because I drink my coffee. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we'll touch base on that one again later down the road, I think. And maybe tomorrow night we'll do some focused intention setting, I think. Hello, Don. Don has 3 cents. Actually, I think Don has a 6-pack he would share with people if of opinions. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So, positive energy. I won't say love and light, but protective energy to our people in harm's way. So, yeah. Yeah. A little extra bell for them. Yes, Don could give us 3 cents too. Happy well thoughts to Mr. Brent. Apparently, Mr. Brent Thomas is feeling a bit puny and under the weather, so I hope he feels better soon and takes care of himself. Nothing like rest. Rest is good for you. I didn't get my nap today, but rest is good for you. Well, no, I did get my nap. I just got it really early. Does it count as a nap if you fall asleep at 6 a.m. and wake up at 9 a.m.? I think naps are wasted on children. That is just all there is to it. Yes. So, tonight, I got to thinking, and it's partly because I was talking to Lucky. She had some things going on, and she came across a hawk feather, and so we were talking about feathers and the meaning of feathers and different things, and it's like, maybe we should just talk about feathers again. It's been a while since we went over feathers, and if I remember right, when I did go over it initially, it was for one of the 1-hour shows, and I crammed a lot of information into 1 hour, so this time we're going to take a deep cleansing breath, and if it goes over, we'll pick it up tomorrow, because there's a lot going on with feathers. I mean, there's many, many, many birds, and different colors, different meanings, different energies. There's some basics when it goes to colors, of course. And it totally, my brain shut off. You're not late, Justin. You're on time. Just like a wizard's supposed to be, right? I messed up that quote, but that's about what it is. So, here it is. It's fall in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern, and birds are starting to move. For those of you in the Pacific Northwest, I'm sure you have experienced some of the cooler temperatures and the rain. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed it yet, but it's like the October rains that we normally get here are happening now. And I'm okay with this because that stops the potential for fires and whatnots. And I'm going to have to yell at the dog at the break. And Kimber, go lay down. She just wants to play with the kitty. And Drama says no. Anyway, so yeah, October rains the other day. What was it? Wednesday? I think something like that. Tuesday, Wednesday. I went outside and, early in the morning because I've been waking up early because of a dog and stuff. And, holy cow, I could smell snow. No joke. It's like, wait, it's only August? What is up with that? No. Julia says, better not snow on Halloween. Honey Bunch, I think we're going to have snow before. I'll be surprised if we make it to Halloween without snow. Now, we may be doing abominable snowmen for Halloween this year. Yeah. So, anyways, with the birds moving, the wee ones are leaving the nest and getting ready to fly around and head to warmer temperatures or, their nesting grounds and such. And so feathers are falling, right? And as you are out hiking and enjoying the cooler temps this fall, or if you're getting ready to, or you're hiking around and you're seeing the birds coming in, if you see a feather, on the one hand, I want to say, pick it up, it means something. On the other hand, I get that there are rules and laws in place protecting our birds. And so some bird feathers you can pick up and some you cannot. It is your responsibility, if you're out hiking and decide to wildcraft as you're at it, to gather ethically and legally. So if it's not legal, I'm not telling you to do something illegal. I'm telling you to pay attention to the laws. Sure, they're man-made, but they're there for a reason. And just pay attention. Know your rights. Know the legal limits. Okay? And because sometimes the feathers that we come across, for instance, they're placed there by our guides, our spirit guides, our ancestors, the deities we work with, animal spirits in general. And they have really high, big, strong, have words, meaning to us. And because there is so much meaning within those feathers, sometimes it means we do need to pick it up and take it home and treasure it, maybe put it on our altar. They're in some First Nation peoples, they would be gifted a feather by an elder when they accomplished a task or a goal or achieved a benchmark within their life, like going transition to manhood or womanhood, that kind of thing. Or for example, that's just an example. And so they would wear these feathers in their hair because it had meaning to them. And and it was just an example or mark of success and accomplishment. And so, in a way, someone wearing a full headdress was fully accomplished, had accomplished great things, and was perhaps a great leader, if that makes sense. And in other cultures, that wasn't quite the same meaning, but again, the different cultures or different first tribes had different values and importance that they placed on different things. It wasn't all red is red is red. So, you got to pay attention. Oh, that's awesome. Justin says, I have eagles that fly around our property, but I've only found 2 feathers from them. So we have eagles that nest on one end of the property, and I have ravens that nest on the other end of the property. They don't always get along, which is amusing. I have found 1 eagle feather, and I have yet to find a raven feather. So, nice. Leo says we collect feathers from our birds or from a friend, Peacock, and his wife makes stuff out of them, like dream catchers and such. Feathers are amazing. I make dream catchers too. Yes, feathers are amazing. At the break, I'll reach back here and get something off behind me. It was a gift from a friend of mine, a really fantastical gift. It's a smoke fan for using smoke cleansing and such, and it's pretty fantastic. It's turkey and chicken feathers. I mean, we have a lot of turkeys here. Funny thing. Squirrel moment. Yes, I get it. Part of a conversation overheard this past week, somebody said there's only 30,000 turkeys in the entire state of Idaho. And I couldn't help but add my 2 cents there. It's like, are they all in Bonner County? Because there's a lot of turkeys here. Anyways, also I collect turkeys. Or turkey feathers. I've got chicken feathers. I've been gifted peacock feathers and others. And oh my stars, I've got feathers everywhere. I should make some earrings to put on the website. That's how many feathers I have. Anyways, when our spirit guides do put a feather in place for us to see, one way of respecting the feather is to just observe it and meditate on it and leave it in place. You can, if you find a feather like that, poke it upright into the ground, so the feather is going up, the quill is going down, and you kind of sing and dance around it and make a wish. That's pretty cool. And so if that's an option or something you want to do, absolutely do that. And then, for some feathers, yeah, you do take them home. And you put them in a safe place. Now, some people can pick up eagle feathers and some people cannot. It kind of varies. So pay attention to laws there. But same with hawks and other protected birds. The first tribes are not the only ones that use feathers. There's druids who used feathered robes to invoke the sky gods. The first tribes, the chiefs here in the U.S., who wore feathers to symbolize their communication with the Great Spirit and to note their celestial wisdom. So Egyptians believe that Maat will weigh the hearts of the newly dead against a feather to determine their worthiness. And within Christianity even, 3 feathers, or an image of 3 feathers, signify charity, hope, and faith. So that the feathers all around have lots of significance. Sometimes as a confirmation of belief, or it could be travel, it could be a message. In dream work or in dreams, feathers do symbolize travel in life or through a spiritual journey, and or perhaps it's symbolic. I know that at least one time when I've had a significant event, I wanted to make sure I was making the right choice, and I was talking to myself on my way to work, and I asked my guides to, I said, I'm doing this thing, I want to do this thing, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Is this the right choice? And I pulled into my parking spot, and I went to get out, and there was a feather right where my foot was supposed to go. Now, was it an accident? Was it happenstance? Maybe it was coincidence. But I gotta tell you, sometimes when we see a coincidence, it's like, dude, that's a really big coincidence. Oh yeah, sure, it wasn't with intention. I think a lot of things that are assumed to be coincidence aren't really. And often the feathers that are given to us, they may be in an odd place. And especially if you find one or more within a closed room, and maybe the windows are shut or whatever, it's like, where did this come from? Well, it's a surprise, you have a message. Or maybe you're just out walking and hiking and it's right in front of you. That's happened to me a couple times. And it's like, One of my most treasured feathers is that way. And it's a really pretty big one. And it's like, dude, I just happened to be taking a different route, different path, and it was there in the middle. It's like, how did this get here just like this? Seriously. It was quill down, feather up, and it was just, yeah, it was a sign. And a lot of meaning. It was one of those that was gifted to me by the spirit guides, absolutely. The chat room is saying that ravens or crows have to give you a feather as a gift. Yes, I've heard that as well. And Justin says, it's okay to talk to yourself as long as you don't answer. But if I don't answer, how do I know I'm talking to myself? Maybe I'm talking out loud. Actually, I talk to myself a lot, and occasionally I answer. But that's okay. Again, it's the expert advice, right? Oh, the kitten's running amok. So if there's a big noise in the background, everything's fine. It's just gravity kicking in, that's all. So when you do see a feather in your path, or you're gifted with a feather, stop and think about what has been on your mind lately. What things have been taking up your brain space? Is it causing you stress, or are you joyous, happy thing? Have you asked your spirit guides for guidance? Because I have, and wow. It's, yeah, definitely. And sometimes we all like positive affirmation, right? Hey, you're doing a good job. Yes, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now. Those types of things. Or the golf clap of appreciation, whatever it is. Sometimes our spirit guides or our ancestors or the deities we work with will give us a sign, a literal sign. Hey, good job. You're doing it right. And that's a pretty amazing feeling. And so that may be why you come across the feather. And, it's a goosebump moment when you have something like that. Because you stop, you pick up the feather, you're like, well, wait, where did this come from? What happened here? What happened? You look all around, it's like, okay. And then you're a little freaked out because it's like, okay, I'm not alone here. Yeah. And then you take a deep breath and you're like, well, thank you, and you express your gratitude and be appreciative. Because anytime we're gifted with something significant, even if it feels insubstantial like a feather, significant gifts like that, that's a pretty big deal. And it's not $1 million generally, but it's still a pretty big deal. So every feather has unique patterns, unique colors, and if you're, just like other forms of divination, for instance, colors have meaning. And, this is part of the reason why we are, oh, hey, Paradox Fossils. It's a new name. And, the meaning behind the flowers, or feathers, it takes a little bit of interpretation. Not every feather means exactly the same thing. You might get 3 white feathers. Do they all mean the same thing? Depends. Is it a tail feather? Is it a downy feather? Is it a wing feather? Are they all from the same bird? So maybe not. So it can vary. And you do need to, remember that it's a bit of interpretation. And if the message is to you, the meaning is kind of up to you to figure out. So I sure hope you're journaling. So Paradox says, rose gold feathers. That's awesome. I hope you're journaling where you're finding the feathers and what's on your mind. What's going on? So Justin says, we had a raven fly into a transformer across the road from our house. I gave it a proper burial, but we still had bad internet for months and electrical glitches. Oof. Despite being told it was just fine. Oh, goodness. Oh, first break. We'll be right back, guys. lovelies, this is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Talking about feathers tonight as I sip my cold coffee. Because, yeah, I need the coffee. Lots of coffee. Actually, I don't need more coffee. I just think I do, right? Isn't that how that works? I don't need more coffee, I just need it. Yeah. All right. Hopefully I don't break anything there. Yeah. Okay. So Justin, with the raven flying and having the glitches and stuff, I'd given an offering and burned a fair bit of sage. But that's in retrospect, not necessarily in, looking forward. So, yeah. Crazy, though. And it is amazing to me. Yeah. It is amazing to me how so many people, they, instead of, okay, thank you. It's not just me. So yeah, there's a lot of static and I'm not sure why. I didn't do anything different. And I don't think it's raining. I'm not sure what's up with that. Hold on. Yeah, the sound quality just kind of tanked after the break. Let's see. Ooh, what's this button do? I am looking for... Nope, not that one. This is when Don generally shows up and he's like, what are you doing? Stop touching things. Which is kind of funny. But, yeah, audio. I don't know. It's fading a little bit now. Weird. Acoustic technology from the Pleiadians. Yeah. Gotta love the tech. Anyway, so, back to the feathers. I hope when you gather feathers that you are journaling where you find them and what's on your mind as you come across them. I know. So, okay, time out. Lucky, I clicked on the button in the Skype history remover and it is not cooperating. So yeah, I don't think it's raining. Nope, it's not raining. It was earlier. So I'm just gonna keep going. And I guess maybe talk louder. Does louder help? I can talk louder. I don't know. Did that change anything? I hope it did. Anyway, so when it comes to feathers and magic, generally speaking, feathers are an indicator of the element of air, and because they can make a connection between the earth and the sky, because most birds fly. Not all, of course, but many. And let me know if that sounds better, guys. And so feathers are very, very symbolic for I don't know, I didn't touch it. Symbolic of air. Because unless you take a jar and you put a lid on it and you're like, hey, look, I've got a jar full of air. You can't really see it, but feathers are very, very indicative of the element of air. And so when you're gifted, I'll try that, with a feather, basically, yeah, you're connected. That message has been sent to you. Sometimes it is from an angel or a spirit guide, and some feel that it is a link to the world of fairy, which I suppose could be. It all depends upon your interpretation. When you gather a feather, think about it. When you're journaling it, right? You find a feather, you're journaling it. What were you thinking about when you found it? What's been on your mind? What's going on in your life? And when when you saw the feather, not touching anything, when you saw the feather, what's the first thing that came to mind? Was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Or is it, or was it like, oh, hey, look, there's a feather. What is it? What comes to mind? And by the way, show notes will have links to any articles I use. So anyways, when you find specific feathers, like from specific birds, and you know which bird it's from, a blue jay is generally joy and happiness, light. Crow feathers, when you're gifted with one, are wisdom, knowledge, helping to let go of unwanted feelings or thoughts or negative feelings. Robins often have to do with new projects, plans, and beginnings. The whole phrasing, early bird gets the worm. Those are robins because they're up early. They are morning people. Swan feathers generally represent purification, cleansing, beauty, positive energies because they're white, right? And black swan feathers can be used to dispel negative energy. Hawk feathers often are associated with the magic of the hunt. And eagle feathers hold huge amounts of energy, but also bring peace, happiness, and protection. Magpie feathers bring magic, divination, skills, wisdom, and change. Pigeon feathers bring peace, love, and communication because, hello, pigeon feathers, they're very big on communicating. Talk about the original Gossip Girls, a bunch of pigeons. Blackbird feathers bring poetry, inspiration, music, and a stronger connection with meditations. Which is pretty cool, right? Oh, and I forgot to grab the thing. Hold on. All right, for those of you on YouTube, you can see my smoke fan. Here's my hand in comparison. So the striated feathers are turkey. The solid colors, if you can see them on YouTube, are chicken, and the iridescent green is peacock. And then the handle is from a deer that I found almost a year ago, and I gave it to a friend of mine to use as for some of her artwork, and this is what one of the things that she did with it. So it's wrapped with string and leather cord, and then there's some glass beads of various colors and walnut, and there's just a lot going on here. But yeah, it's huge. It's 18 inches, roughly, tall from the end of the handle to the tip of the tallest feather. Yeah, it's a big deal. Don't touch, don't rattle, don't fall. There, safe. Yep. Oh dear. So yeah, that to me is pretty cool. Pretty freaking awesome. Let's see. So, let's see, what is ibis? If you get ibis feathers, they're generally connected with Thoth, who's the Egyptian god of wisdom and writing. The ibis reminds us to tap into our creative side and gain wisdom from the universe. Seagulls, or sea chickens, depending on who you know, they're pretty much found everywhere. And but it's connected to the sea. So seagull feather symbolizes humor, silliness, and using resources wisely. Cardinals, so the red cardinals, they're vibrantly red. Oh my stars. They're beautiful little birds. They symbolize vitality, life, and power. Parrots remind us to be aware of our surroundings and heal us through color therapy. Let's see. Oop, there we go. Pigeons. Excuse me. Doves are peace, love, and family. And then mockingbirds remind us to sing our own songs and to be unique to ourselves. You know, just like the little sign that I have hanging in my room, it says, be yourself, everyone else is taken. Truth. You know, just be you. It's really straightforward. It's the easiest thing to do is just be yourself. Owl feathers. So owls have connections to the ancient deities, and they often symbolize magic, intuition, seeing in the dark, and developing psychic awareness, and more. You know, they're owls are kind of a big deal in the spirit world. Straight up. So if you know about feathers, and you can go online to look at the different types of feathers and such to find out if what you found, is it a wing feather or a tail feather, that kind of thing. So wing feathers are considered to be a thought or prayer, or with the spirit. So wing feathers are generally stiffer than other feathers to support the bird in flight, and so it will support you in your endeavors. The technical name for these particular feathers are ramejis. Down feathers are soft and fluffy and provide warmth to the bird. Those are generally for comfort and to protect your spirituality. Outer feathers are called contour feathers, and they're the outermost feathers, so they're the ones that you see the most. So, you know how water will go, you just beat up and go right down the back of the duck? Those feathers. They wick water and the most colorful, absolutely the most. And contour feathers can bring a sense of self-appreciation and of protection. Let's see. We're gonna just look in here. I wanted to make sure I'm not. If you have a chance to read about owls in general, I would highly recommend it, because owls have a lot of meaning. Because not only are they messages of wisdom, but also warnings of death. And often the coloring with the feathers themselves, the iridescence that changes with the light. A friend of mine, she has purple chickens, or they're called lavender Orpingtons or something like that. And they look they look smoky is what they look like, honestly. But they're considered lavender, but in certain lights they look more gray, and some they look more purple, and it's interesting. Now, if you find a bird in your house, it kind of depends on what it's doing. So what kind of bird is it, and what is it doing? If it's kind of freaking out, well, that means it's kind of a big deal. Let's see. We're going to stop there. We're going to come back here. So, with the colors, this is not an exclusive list. There are other colors. So, white feathers. Yes. Dee says owls are often involved with UFO encounters as well. Yes. And, yeah. No? They're my feathers. Oh, I have to save a cat. Sorry. Somebody got stuck in the window. Let's see. So the white feathers are symbolic of the crown chakra. They're a reminder of faith, enlightenment, spirituality, or opening up to the belief in the divine. So a white feather often symbolizes the successful crossing over of a deceased loved one. It can also be associated with blessings and wisdom connected with the moon or the angels. Dramas on the counter or table. Trying to protect my coffee. Red feathers are symbolic of the root chakra. Let's see. And so red feathers signify the life force, energy, strength, passion, and courage. A feather might be associated with your career, money, or good fortune. It is also connected to passions and emotions. Hi, drama. You're going to mess something up, aren't you? Yep. There's a cat. Blue feathers are symbolic of the throat chakra. Nope. Cats, I tell you. Throat chakra. So blue feathers are generally a reminder to listen and to be open to all levels of communication, but still speak your own truth. So a blue feather will show that you may have a psychic awareness and or a connection with the spirits, and that you have a spiritual protection. So allow yourself to be calm and at peace. Yes, cat fight. Drama is being dramatic, and Merlin is being a brat. So sorry, guys. Yes, kitties. Merlin wants to know why Drama doesn't want to play or cuddle. Yes, and yes, they want their own 15 minutes of fame. Drama ends up on TikTok, actually, every so often. Goofy cat. Yellow is very symbolic of your solar plexus chakra. With the yellow feathers, you are reminded to be cheerful and lighthearted and to focus upon that which you desire. So yellow feathers have a connection with the sun and remind you to remain mentally alert. While focused and full of energy, you may have a clearer vision and feel that your intuition and or psychic abilities are stronger. Green is representative of the heart chakra. It is a symbol of love, emotions, and relationships. Green feathers can also show a greater connection with nature, the environment, or the spirits associated with them. So you may feel a closer connection with animal spirits and an overall vibrancy or well-being. Green feathers can also signify an abundance or fertile opportunity or prosperity. Orange is associated with the sacral chakra and also goes with change, optimism, attraction, and creativity. So this feather can lead to independence. Pay attention to your physical relationships and intimacy. Listen to your inner voice and allow a strength of willpower help you to focus on change. Change is hard. Sorry, guys, it just is. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Change is an adventure. Pink is a reminder of unconditional love of both yourself and others. This particular feather is very symbolic of relationships, feelings, empathy, compassion, gentleness, and friendship. Either with romance or physical creation may be represented. A pink feather affirms your faithfulness and harmony with that which you surround yourself with. Be open to inspiration when you receive love. Purple has to do with the crown chakra, symbolic of a heightened spiritual growth and experience. You may feel more connected to a universal consciousness. A purple feather may signify a need to transmute a negative energy into something positive or neutral. You may be feeling a greater awareness of psychic and or spiritual insight. Brown feathers, while you may be found feeling grounded and a balance between the physical and spiritual realms. A brown feather can mean that you need to ground yourself as well. This feather often represents earth. Gray feathers are kind of a midpoint between black and white, right? So it's also representative of neutrality or balance and peace. It's a time to make peace with yourself and find the flexibility necessary to accept that no matter how difficult, you are on the right track. If you have a question, it may mean that there is no absolute answer, but instead a middle ground. You may be attaining a mastery and a level of wisdom, even if you doubt yourself, that knowledge is within. Doubting ourselves is almost natural, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. But, this is the gray feathers. I see those often because I question myself on a regular basis. Am I following the right path? Am I sharing the right information? Am I doing the right research? Am I doing enough research? Because sometimes I feel like I'm just winging it and I'm up here sharing stuff. I do my very best to share stuff that I find accurate. Whoops, sorry. And granted, I'm talking about my own personal journey often, but and my interpretation of my spiritual journey. But if we all doubts. Oof, they're hard on us. But you're doing it right. I promise. Black feathers are often associated with an awakening of spirit and mystical wisdom. So a black feather may be a warning sign and may indicate a need to stand strong and set strong boundaries to repel negative energy. It may also mean that a chapter is ending in your life, perhaps as extreme as death, and it's time to move on. When shiny or iridescent, a black feather can be indicative of mystical insight. Yeah, it's the knowing. Yeah, Paradox, you're absolutely right. The knowing without words or thoughts. Absolutely. It's your intuition. And sometimes our intuition whispers, and other times it shouts. And it's hard to tell them apart sometimes. So with peacock feathers, so on YouTube I'm using a peacock feather as a image, and the eye of the peacock feather is often representative of vision and seeing because of the eye. And it's, I think peacocks are pretty freaking awesome, honestly. Worldbirds.com has a lot of information on specific birds. If you wanted to look into that a little bit more, we will talk about feathers after the break, which is coming right up. I'm going to stop there because, It's a good spot. That's just all there is to it. Before I get into the next thing. Because I wanted to talk about some of the symbolism with some of the different cultures around the world after the break. And if you do have questions, by all means, give a call or shoot an email or leave a message in one of the chat rooms. And I think the cats are going to go calm down and take a nap now. Hopefully. Doggone it. Pesty critters. Yeah, I love peacocks. They're so pretty. Even if they are kind of noisy and annoying, they're so pretty. So, anyways, off to our our top of the hour break. Is it really? It is 10 o'clock already. Wow, time. So, first break. When we come back, we'll do some singing bowl. See you in a few. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Justin says I'm not scary. Lucky, good night. I hope you sleep well. And some singing bowl, yes. Love the singing bowl. Yes, singing bowl is fantabulous. So, let's see. Did I get all of those? Yep, got those. So, symbolism with the different cultures. About feathers. It's good rambling, Justin. I promise. Just maybe, do you got a lot to ramble about? You always do it like 5 minutes to the end of the show. What up with that? So yes, if you want to call in, 213-233-3998. I have found that the singing bowl works better when I hold it than when it's on its little base. So, symbolism. Okay, that's funny. I say symbolism and Justin comments, the dog started howling to the singing bowl. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. That's too funny. The cats left, so maybe it was good. Too funny. All right. So, symbolism with the first people here in the U.S., Native Americans. Yes, symbolism. So, each member of a tribe might use different feathers, maybe from the wings or the tails of different birds, and each feather had a different energy and symbolic meaning. Absolutely. So, different feathers, of course, were used for different purposes, such as healing, cleansing, blessing, or awakening. Lakota Sioux awarded feathers to the members of the tribe when they earned it. So they even used feathers to make it rain, for success in hunting or catching fish. Feathers protected homes and cured the sick. Feathers were used in lullabies, love songs, corn grinding, and social dancing. Cherokees awarded feathers for certain achievements. I need to do this. Oh, hey, look at that. It's bigger. So tribal members would wear certain feathers when they overcame certain limitations or fears. A shaman would first purify each feather before awarding it to members. That way the negative features of the feather would not pass on to the recipient. A blessed feather was considered a gift better than anything. Absolutely. Still. For me, absolutely. Blessed feathers are fantabulous. Down feathers had special meaning as well. They're considered the bridge between Mother Earth and the spirit world. So down feathers were often used for marking sacred sites or for a blessing. For many tribes, quill feathers represent balance, and when a person experienced mental anguish, ceremonies were conducted with feathers to restore that balance. Interesting. That balance with feathers is not just with the Egyptians. Within Christianity, the Bible would have different symbology with the different birds. So ostrich feathers, for instance, are mentioned often and are unique because the ostrich doesn't fly and they're huge. And because they don't fly, they don't have a lot of the hooks and some of the texture that other feathers have, because they don't have to lock together for like water repelling or for flight. So instead of being smooth and sleek, they're light and fluffy. So the flabella fans were made with ostrich and peacock feathers and were waved over the consecrated body and blood of Jesus Christ. And it's said that the eagle sheds its feather in spring and with its fresh plumage assumes the appearance of youth. So to this, the allusion is made that Psalms 103, verse 5, and Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, God's care of the people is likened to that of the eagle. In Psalm 68, verse 13, there's a species of dove found in Damascus whose feathers, except the wings, are as yellow as gold. And this describes the condition of peace and prosperity which one can attain once they completely put off the earthly image with all of its afflictions and sufferings and become truly invested in Christ. And only then will their bodies be conformed to Christ's glorious body, and only then will their humiliation disappear and the feathers will turn to gold. So there's a lot of transitory there, and it's been a while since I read the Bible, so I didn't remember all that. But yeah, it's that's interesting. Within the Celtic traditions, feathers stand for truth, that which must rise, also of lightness, dryness, the heavens, height, speed, spaciousness, and flight to the other realms. So the expression, for instance, a feather in your cap is used to mean to honor you. And it refers to the custom among many European countries of adding a feather in the hat after achieving something. In Celtic symbolism, feathered cloaks were worn by priests to represent the journey to the other world. And in cultic lore, white feathers, especially with a white raven feather, was a good omen of blessing and spiritual cleansing. So in Celtic lore and spellcraft of the dark goddesses, invoking the Morrigan, let's see, that's a book. By Stephanie Woodfield, the goddess Ain wears a cloak made of swan feathers, and she can shapeshift into a bird. Swans were considered sacred birds as well, and their feathers were used to make cloaks called tuigean. Celts believed that the feathers meant air, ascension, fertility, lightness, and purification of evil, abundance, purity, pride, charity, faith, and strength. A lot of meaning there. So white feathers might mean cowardice, sea foam, or clouds. Feathers that were red often were cloak trimmings or for fairies in Celtic lore. And black feathers often meant sleep, evil, and mourning. Ostrich feathers meant distinction, and a feathered helmet is a triumph. So wearing feathers helped the person take on the power of the birds, including transcendence, instinctual knowledge, and flight. Okay, that's funny. Leo says, this is funny because my wife finds feathers from our chickens and puts them in her hat. Yes. I do that too. Sometimes. I don't wear many hats, but when I do, yes. And I have headdresses that I've crafted and made. One of them has peacock feathers. It's got a big peacock feather in the front with the eye, so that it's for vision, so you can see. It's like the third eye. Mm-hmm. In dreams, feathers have a little bit different meaning. Two feathers might mean light and air, or opposites, height, north and south pole, that kind of thing. If you dream of three feathers, good thoughts, words, and deeds, perhaps passing through a ring, faith, charity, and hope. So, dream catchers often have feathers on them. And there are two interpretations for dream catchers. One is to catch the nightmares to keep them from being transported into your dreams. and to filter out the nightmares, for instance. And in some interpretations, dream catchers are used to catch the good dreams, to keep them so you never lose them. I like both interpretations. Dream catchers made with owl feathers often are to impart wisdom, and those made with eagle feathers are for courage. So Leo, this is even funnier. Chicken feathers often mean small annoyances, which I think is funny because chickens are small annoyances, I promise. Ostrich feathers, often victorious. Think the Roman helmets for a lot of the upper officers would have big plumage of feathers. Let's see. Sometimes, depending on where you find the feather, has meaning. Perhaps if it's on the ground directly, it may be from your ancestors. Oh, wow. Leo says we got blessed with 11 chickens, some that look like owls and hawks. I would love to see pictures of those. Let's see. Trying to just... So... You ever read an article and it's like, woohoo, this is good, and then you get through it and you're like, blah. Paradox says chickens are actually one of the most courageous birds. Sometimes. Sometimes they're just idiots. They're not like a guinea hen, though. Guinea hens take the cake on idiocy. So, if you get the urge to tattoo a feather on yourself, often it means a lightness of being, spirituality, ascent to heaven or air. And, okay, of course, some of the colors mean different things. Now, a tattoo is a tattoo is a tattoo. Some people just like tattoos because, ooh, it's trendy, I'm going to get a feather. Or, ooh, it's trendy, I'm going to get ravens. Or, ooh, it's trendy this. Or, hey, I just like them, so that's what I'm going to do. So just, if you're getting a tattoo of feathers, do some research. Make sure you're getting the one that means the most to you specifically rather than, just, as whatever. So... often feathers are used in memory of a loved one or someone who's passed. Some are magnificent. Red feather tattoos, especially Polynesian tattoos, are only for royalty. So a red feather tattoo might symbolize status or a high rank of royalty. There's a lot of meaning there, a lot of interesting meaning there. Some birds are just omens too, not just the birds, but also the omen, or not just the feathers, but the birds also have meaning. So, it's amazing. There's so much superstition for different critters. Different people have different meanings. There's old wives' tales for this or this, or my granny said that, or, that kind of thing. And it varies a lot. And it's, when you stop and listen to some of it, it's like, seriously, guys, breathe. It'll be okay. But, some of it, there's truth to it. Like, quite a few people who don't see crows often think that if you see a crow, it's bad luck. Now, I disagree with that 100%. I think I like crows, and they're everywhere. So, yeah. Superstitious misconception that blackbirds are bad luck. Well, no. And I think in the article that I'm reading here, otherworldlyoracle.com, it's it was they state that years of stereotyping the crow or blackbird as a witch is familiar. Yeah, blackbirds get a bad rap. They're not bad. So blackbirds are often seen as an ill omen, and that's what people assume that's what it means. But no. Often, just the blackbird has a message to bring. So crows and blackbirds often are tricksters, but they are benevolent and bring news of good passage and protection. And it's a good omen. So Odin, Bran, the Morrigan, Queen Maeve, are all deities that communicate through animal signs, and crows and ravens are two of the smartest animals in the world. I mean, they're scary smart. So, yeah, they can play jokes on you. They get things. So they generally bring a deeper understanding of spirituality and the occult. In addition to crows and ravens, there are other blackbirds like, blackbirds and grackles. I see grackles all the time. They're just these little bitty, cute, black, shiny, happy. Yes, I like all the grackles I see. Every time I see a grackle, I think of my grandmother, because she loved her birds. She had bird feeders out all the time, and it was always funny to watch the ongoing battle against the squirrels. Seriously. My grandfather tried to do so many things to keep the squirrels from getting into the bird feeders. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And I remember her talking about grackles all the time. So when I see a grackle, I think of my grandmother. Often. So white birds, are often considered the opposite of blackbirds. So if blackbirds were assumed to be bad and white birds were assumed to be good, well, no, that's not necessarily the way it is. It's not a Hollywood movie. So white doves do mean peace, joy, and love. White pigeons are linked to holiness or guardian spirits, and egrets associated with prosperity. Pigeons and doves were also the only birds that the ancient Hebrews felt that they were appropriate for sacrifice. On the other hand, many cultures equate the color white with death or emptiness. So a white bird, the meaning depends on the situation and the culture and your tradition that you follow. So Leo says maybe the times are calling for Odin. Yes. Absolutely. So Triton was the son of Poseidon. There's actually kind of a few. Theseus, I think, was another one. I'll hit Google here in just a minute. So hawks can be a sign as well. So hawks are considered one of the most powerful birds of prey, partly because they have superior eyesight. And so they often symbolize vision, clear-sightedness, the big picture, and wisdom. If a hawk lands near you or appears in dreams, a message is coming to let you know whether you are on the right path. Hawks are a call to take notice, and their appearance is considered a blessing. Let's see. Yeah, Poseidon had a lot of kids, not just the one. Let's see. Owls and buzzards are often considered birds of ill omen. I mean, generally we see buzzards and they're associated with death, right? They're huge. We have them here. They're big birds. Oh my stars. And most people, and when they're thinking about omens and birds, they assume owls. So, and I know that a lot of times people associate, "Ooh, I heard an owl," or "I see an owl," somebody's going to die. Well, it's not necessarily true. I honestly see a lot of owls and hear a lot of owls. I could go outside right now and I would be able to hear probably 6 of them. Not a lot of death around me right now, knock on wood, but yeah. Often the owl is considered an ill omen bird because it brings news of impending death. That doesn't mean that the bird is bad. It's not like, don't shoot the messenger, okay? It's because the owl is also a guide. Often it will guide the soul from this plane to the spiritual plane, and it'll warn our loved ones when we're ready to pass. Now, I think the reason why the owl gets a bad rap is because Western civilization seems to fear death. And death is bad, and anything associated with death is bad. Well, death is a fact of life. I mean, death is one of the things that we all have in common. We all die. Eventually. All of us. And so we need to not assume that the owl is a bad guy, and he's not. He's just bringing a message. Because they also are wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom that can be found, and owls are very symbolic of it. Now, in Eastern Europe, if an owl lands on someone's roof, often people assume, oop, there's going to be someone is going to die there. With Native Americans, often people will say that the owl works for evil forces to spy on you or to perform other evil tasks. Perhaps. Same with the buzzard. Some interpret the buzzard as bringing news of a blockage during travel or other aggravating circumstances. So is the buzzard an omen of ill will, or is it just the messenger? So remember that a lot of the interpretation of the science has a lot to do with what's going on. So hawks are generally considered a blessing, Leo. So let's see. Hummingbirds. So, okay, I love hummingbirds. I think they're awesome. We have about half a dozen that nest around the yard, and they dive bomb you. They are little jerks, and they're beautiful. So, they're very fast. They're very strong, and they're beautiful. And they're generally revered for their speed and energy. So if a hummingbird hovers nearby or lands on you, it brings a message of joy and love. Some feel that the hummingbird movements are associated with dance and are trying to just bring some balance to the world. Well, I think that's we need more of that. So be nice to the hummingbirds, plant some flowers, so that they can, have some place to hang out when they get there, because they do need a lot of energy. And if you do have a hummingbird feeder, just side note, simple syrup is pretty easy to make. It's just sugar and water. Boil it. Reduce it down just a little bit so it's a syrupy, not like candy, but syrupy. And put that in your hummingbird feeder. Now, I don't fill up my hummingbird feeder. I only do about a third, because even though we've got quite a few, we've got a lot of other plants around, so they don't always eat it. And I hate having to clean the ants out of it. And I don't really feel an urge to feed the yellow jackets. So, but you need to make sure you clean that out so that it doesn't get all icky and fungusy and moldy and stuff. So that's why I only put a little bit in there. But On that note, it is bottom of the hour, so we're going to go to our last break for the night. And when we come back, we're going to continue talking about birds as a signs and feathers and stuff. So be right back, guys. And the button. It helps if I remember to push all the buttons. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. Towards the end of the night, we all start running out of steam, right? Marie, I sure hope you're drinking your coffee, love. Because it's necessary. Yes. So Leo says we need a MeWe page for spaces. Yes, I will do that too. It's been on my to-do list. So that's what I mean by two. I wrote this book. I've been illustrating it. It was supposed to be published a month and a half ago. Good night, Paradox. Thanks for joining tonight. And that didn't happen because, well, life is an adventure, and we all know that, right? And so I'm still working on it. I have, I think, 6 pages to illustrate still. I mean, these are kids' books. It's not like they're long, but it does take a little bit of time to develop the graphics, and I'm doing my own artwork this time, so I hope you guys like it. And I promise it will be out. Oh, Justin said that? Okay, well, yes, Justin, you're still right. You're both right. So, yes, I will get the MeWe page set up. I thought I had one, but apparently I don't. So, yes, it's on my to-do list. Along with art and stuff. Yeah. Stuff is a good word, right? Oh, yes. So, birds of science. We talked about feathers. And let's see, we talked about hummingbirds, and now on the list is woodpeckers. So, gotta love the woodpeckers, right? Generally, they're good. And although they drive me nuts when they are not pounding their faces into wood, instead they're trying to break into a metal building, and instead of the thunk-a-thunk-a-thunk, it's rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. Right at, 5 o'clock in the morning is fantastic on a Saturday in the summer, right? So if a woodpecker is doing his thing or her thing, it generally means that you're not paying attention to something. And it's important, so pay attention. So the woodpecker is literally knocking on your brain to remind you to pay attention. Those woodpeckers, yep, they're trying to say hello. Hello. Pay attention. Are you focusing? Focus. So, an alternative meaning for the woodpeckers, you just need to dig deeper past the surface of an issue to find the true resolution. So, yeah, those obnoxious woodpeckers, I tell ya. Yeah, rat-a-tat-tat. Blue jays are very defensive and very fierce. I like blue jays, but I remember my grandmother, she did not. She thought they were pretty, and she would put stuff out for them specifically in her spruce trees. Spruce trees are a whole nother story. But she hated them because they were so bossy at the bird feeder. They really were bossy and annoying. Yep. And so if you see a blue jay in your yard or around your house, or maybe lots of blue jays, maybe it's your family needs some protection right now. There may be an intruder, either physically or figuratively, that is coming. So it's time to tighten up your defenses. And, that would explain why I've seen a few lately. Yeah. Cardinals. So cardinals are fab. Actually, I love cardinals. They're just such a pretty red. And often you'll see them as a pair, both the male and female, and they're mated. And so cardinals are generally representative of love and intimacy. They can also mean a time of fertility. Either you're going to have a baby, or you're getting ready to birth a new idea to fruition, either in your career or your personal interests. So cardinals are generally a sign of joy and jubilee. Stop and think about it. How many Christmas cards are out there that have cardinals on them? It's because cardinals are kind of party animals, I guess. They're just a good time. Joy, jubilee, woohoo, all of that. Justin says, if you have blue jays around, it's time to hide your marbles or shiny things because they're thieves. Yes, they are. So are crows and ravens. So be careful of your shinies. So, if we keep on talking about omens and signs when it comes to birds, every so often they do fly into a window. Now, sometimes this means the bird is just dumb. Honestly, because they can be. However, there's an old wives' tale from the Ozarks that says that if a bird flies into your house, it's a bad omen, especially if it's a turtle dove. And, like in your house, flying around, not into the window, but just because they're not very bright. So, what's it doing when it flies into your house? Is it trying to get free, or is it being calm? What kind of message is the bird giving you? Because, if it's one that, like my grandmother, likes the grackles, if I see one, I think of it. I think of her, and maybe, they're just giving me a message. Is it panicky and trying to get out? Well, maybe it's time for you to think outside of the box. So, I personally think, and the author of this particular article is like, not every bird in the house is a bad omen. Sometimes, but not always. So, but what if a bird flies into a window? Well, if a bird flies into your car or house window, is knocked unconscious, it can die from the impact. It may be an omen that you believe you're getting somewhere in life, but you're going to hit a wall. Don't worry, another window of opportunity will open. It can also mean that family turmoil in store in the near future, so pay attention to the actions of birds as omens. Now, I wish I'd known this when I was a lot younger. I got hit by an owl when I was 17, I think. I was driving a two-tone rust Toyota Corolla. And backcountry road in Iowa, heading home, and the owl hit the car hard enough that it shook the car. I mean, Toyota Corollas in the back then were not exactly big. It's a little bitty thing. It probably fit in the back of a pickup truck. It was tiny. And it wasn't much more than 2 or 3 months, and we had some family drama coming up. And, yeah. So I wish I knew then what I know now. So, yeah, it's, oof. Pay attention, if you're paying attention to the birds, the actions of birds, if you're trying to interpret omens, journal it, write it down. And yeah, maybe you're hitting the wall. What's it mean? Maybe you need to stop cleaning your windows. I need to replace the patio slider screen door because the dog keeps running into it, and so it's bent. And when it's replaced, I'll probably get some red yarn and 2 sigils or flowers or something. Yeah. Yeah. And patio doors, I know a lot of people, when they clean their patio doors, they'll put stickers or something about eye level so that you don't walk into the patio door. I mean, otherwise, yeah, birds aren't the only ones that are kind of bird brains. So, have you ever had a bird follow you home? Now, I can't think that I have. I've had chickens follow me down to my pond because the chickens think I'm bringing them lunch. So, but if a bird is following you home, it's not necessarily an omen. It may be that the bird wants to be your friend. The bird might be your spirit guide or your totem animal. And it could be a crow, it could be a pigeon, it could be anything in between. If you come across that particular bird, research the mythology behind it, and be open to the fact this creature might be your new spirit guide or familiar. It absolutely could. Oh, goodness. It's not quite the 5-minute warning, Justin. So hold on, we've got a call. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Hello. Oh, where'd it go? There was a call. Justin, where'd you go? What if it just Leo says, what if it flies along by your car for a minute? Well, what kind of bird is it? I'd still look up the information there and find out about it. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Hello? Hi, there you are.
Hello?
Hi, Justin? Can you hear me?
Justin, where'd you go?
Am I here?
You're here.
So,
Turn me down in the background.
By your car for a minute. Well, what kind of bird is it?
Justin? Justin? Hello? Hello? Justin? Well, drat. Justin, you're answering, or I'm answering, but I'm not quite sure what's up. Let's try this one more time. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Justin?
Hello?
Can you hear me now? Justin? Well, drat. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Well, doggone it. We're gonna do this. I'm not sure what the dealio is, Justin. It's not letting me do anything. Weird. Can you hear me now? Hello?
I don't know what's going on.
Weird. Okay. I bet you I had an update that I didn't get updated. Ah, drat. I'm sorry, Justin. It's not coming through. And, we may have to do this tomorrow. Because it seems like whenever I have a call-in line issue, it, That's right, that's right. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me now, Justin? Well, poop. I didn't touch anything. Can you hear me now? Oh, goodness. So, birds can also be indicative of, auguries. You can use auguries with the birds flying around. Many different traditions have used flight patterns and actions of birds for augury purposes. And of course, okay. I'm going to stop touching things because, yeah, that's bad. And so if you want to try to, watch the flight patterns and actions of birds for augury purposes, you're going to have to trust your intuition. But, just kind of hang out in a spot where birds are and they're flying around. Let the birds be around you, spontaneously. Don't try to call them with food or anything like that. And, ask yourself questions about the birds you see. What do they mean? What are they trying to tell you? Is there a large number of them? Is it just one or two? What direction are they going? Are they being steady? Are they swirling? And then interpret those movements. What do they mean to you? So Justin says, I'm a bad woman. No. My family's the one that, my dad has so much of a electric charge around him at all times that he can almost not walk past a computer without it turning off. He cannot drive a new truck because it burns out because of his own electric energy. Yeah, he uses a dumb flip phone because smartphones die. So it's not just you. It's not just you at all. Okay, so there, keep my timer. There we go. Good deal. So yeah, a lot of the auguries and interpretations have a lot to do with your intuition and what those motions mean to you. So here we often see the finches start kind of bonding and grouping up and flying in different patterns and swirls and stuff as they're getting ready to go south. And I got to tell you, I'm starting to see them group up, just like geese. They start making noise and suddenly they're flying south. And it's interesting how much of that we just kind of take for granted. It's like, do the birds all disappear? Well, okay, what kind of weather's about to happen? Is it going to be windy? Because a lot of the little birds don't fly around very much when it's too windy because they blow away. And some of the bigger birds really like the bigger gusts of wind because they can soar and hang out for a while. So, but what does that mean to you? Now, if you've seen a dead bird, moving on, or maybe you've hit a bird, often it feels like a bad sign. Sometimes it doesn't. But it can be a good sign because it may mean or show you that there's an end to turmoil or pain coming to you. And that's a good thing, right? Turmoil is ending. Pain is ending. That's good. So a dead bird doesn't necessarily mean physical death. It can be a metaphorical. Just like the death card, hi Wanda, isn't necessarily, someone's going to die. Often it means it's a transition. So maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're struggling to find a job. So maybe the dead bird means it's the end of your search and your struggle. And maybe a new beginning is just around the corner. A friend of mine has ran over 2 turkeys this year. 2 turkeys. So, that to me definitely means that it's time to just let go. And some of those struggles metaphorically are coming to an end, and a new beginning absolutely was just around the corner for one of them. Absolutely, yes. But that's not my story. That's hers. So, it's amazing to me how many symbols are associated with birds, how much is associated with birds. Most people assume when we talk about magic and birds, it's either the raven or the crow or the owl. And that's it. But there is so much more out there, with the colors or with the type of feather, with the bird itself. What's it doing? What happened? What's going to happen? What's on your mind? Where are you at in your world? It's interesting to me how much of the information out there is just old wives' tales. People who think they know things and they really don't. Or people that have heard something because, and that's all they know. And sometimes it's just a misunderstanding, or they've read so many fiction books that they can't get beyond what's in the fiction. And to me, that's frustrating because it shouldn't be just fiction. There's so much more information out there. Now, a lot of fiction writers do some research. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, so do your research. Check out 2 or 3 different sources for information. If you do get information on Wikipedia, look for the sources at the bottom of Wikipedia because they will give you more information. And they have to cite where they get the stuff from. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And if you get the information that's being cited, often that gives you the real information. Yes. Check out Beyond the Veil. There's a lot of information there. A lot of information. Chris and Cherie are fantastic. They know their stuff. So, I think the last minute of the show, which we're almost there, I'm going to do some more Singing Bowl. We've got some fires that are getting... California has just gone up in smoke, and not in a good way. Oregon's dealing with it. Our fires here have kind of calmed down because the weather thinks it's October, and the mess overseas and stuff. So as you're going about your night or your day, keep some positive thoughts for those out there that are dealing with some stuff. The COVID is still there. It's still being a menace. But there's some other things, too, that we need to pay attention to. So keep your eyes open. If you're getting your news from one source, double check it. Make sure you're getting 2 or 3 different... a couple different resources because, I think it's important to get the message out there. So I'm going to finish up with Singing Bowl. This is Paisley Wild. This has been The Spaces Between. Merry meet and merry part. And merry meet again. And, here's some bowl.